She's Gotta Have It is based on an old Spike Lee movie that has been turned into a Netflix series, and season 2 recently came out. I actually had no intention of watching season 2 as I found season 1 lackluster and it did nothing for me. But then I started to see tweets about season 2 and my fellow Brits were cussing. I thought, okay, let me endure and see it for myself. If you wish to skip straight to the poor dialogue exchange, just head straight to episode 5 and hear it for yourself. John Boyega, rightly called the exchange trash, played the lead role in the small budget movie that became a huge box office global success, Get Out. Samuel L. Jackson fixed his lips to pour scorn over Kaluuya. Black Brits are taking our jobs. Get the ammo, the Brits are coming. Oh, please. I guess all the AAs who have played non-Americans have taken our jobs too. I still find those awful accents and cool runnings laughable. The vocal coach did them and Jamaica wrong. But thanks for telling the story from your point of view. In She's Gotta Have It Too, episode 5, Nola meets a British Nigerian man named Olu. He wears what appears to be the go-to popular print for AAs, see Fresh Prince and Living Colour, HBCU graduations, kente cloth, which is of Ghanaian culture and heritage. Not a problem to most, but that accent. What do we have here? A British Nigerian sounding posher than Chris Eubanks. I don't know who the accent was based on, but it was poor. Very aristocracy, very elitist. Maybe that was the intent, to make Black Brits sound part of the elites. If only you knew our history and culture and how we actually sound and our vibe. The conversation between Nola and Olu is a mishmash of Samuel Jackson and other haters about. She declares Black Brits need to fall back because America has dope talent. She makes the assumption that a handful of Brits doing well in Hollywood is a block to success for local African American talent, even when it's African Americans casting and directing some of these movies. She says Black Brits are cheap and lack the history that Americans have. There is no doubt that British actors tend to have good theatre training and not just straight to TV or movies. It really does help, but their talent is not cheap. It's years of blood, sweat, and tears. Many Black Brits seek out Hollywood as they are often overlooked in the UK. This applies across the board in entertainment. Hollywood is not the easiest place to get a job, so any Brit that gets a job there and does well, we will cheer them on. Idris Elba's role in The Wire caught the BBC's eye, which led him to the role of Luther. Had he not ventured beyond the walls of the UK, he may not have progressed that much within the UK. How ironic is that? A question though. How can you mock African names when you were just singing Wakanda Forever? Black Panther had many Caribbean actors in there too. Was that okay? Yay or no? Has the Black Panther effect died down? The dialogue between Nola and Olu mentions, or rather alludes to, an errant belief that Black Brits don't have similar history experiences to African Americans, and that white people are loved and can do no wrong, that we have Stockholm Syndrome. Darn it, we fell in love with Massa and Massa loves us. It's so kumbaya in the UK. Nah, mate, it ain't like that at all. This thinking is so flawed and can only be down to ignorance and a lack of education. This is so far from reality. We do have our fair share of sellouts, but we're not going to claim them anyway. Black Brits can be divided into two main subgroups, Caribbeans and Africans. And then you can further chop us down into countries, but those are the main groups. For your information, the Caribbean of today was due to the transatlantic slave trade. Majority of slaves went to the Caribbean and South America. Brazil has the largest African population outside of Africa. Jamaica was the breaking in ground for slaves. Resistant slaves and rebellious souls were sent to Jamaica. Similar situation in Haiti. Haiti has the greatest slave revolt history story, the first slave nation to gain independence. The information is freely available if you wish to learn more. Black folk outside the USA consume so much American culture and art because it is what is exported en masse to us. Americans have done a good job at trying to Americanize the world, and all the subgroups have that sentiment too. Our own institutions in the UK push back against black talent all the time. So many have put out webisodes or gone abroad to further their careers. We have endless supply of African Americans year after year in starring roles in theatres across the UK, especially the West End. Samuel Jackson was okay coming over here for a job. Oh, the hypocrisy. General population Brits seem to celebrate black Brits more when they have American success or are winning for Britain, but outside of that, it's harder to see. Our police may not have guns, but many have died in custody or simply interacted with the police and died. The documentary Injustice was suppressed, but it details many police deaths. Stephen Lawrence was killed by a gang of white youths. It took 20 years, over 20 years, to get only 2 out of the 5 convicted. I truly believe this xenophobia coming from African Americans is rooted in general American nationalism, the Trump era of national identity. African Americans are expressing American sentiments despite their nation being an immigrant nation. Before it was cool to be American or take on their swag by many black people across the world, but many black people are now showing their own national and cultural pride. Like, no, I am not American, I'm black British, I'm Jamaican, I'm Nigerian, I'm Zim for life, etc. So Americans have sat in this privileged status for a long time. They were the default black, but now even their own census is like, okay, we have diversity in blackness, so let us count them too. I suggest, I truly suggest to see an original Black British mini movie series to go and watch Ratman's Shiro Story by Ratman. It is a must watch. It was very popular. And also, if you read these books, Renee Edo Lodge, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, and David Olusogo, Black and British. That's if you want to learn more about Black British history, colonialism, racism, and so on and so forth. Racism has increased in Britain since Brexit. It has always been here. As Nola said, British ships sailed too. Liverpool, Bristol docks were busy during slavery. The International Slavery Museum is actually in Liverpool. Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican man. He sought Pan-African identity and nationhood. Whoa, have times changed, yeah? So when you're jamming to your reggae, dancehall, Afrobeats and grime, don't be like the slave master that wants the entertainment while suppressing the very people who are entertaining you. Listen, we all can win. Everybody can get fed. Okay, this has been The Truth and Love. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and keep it cute or keep it moving.